Hey guys, this is Joe with Pampered Chef. During this polar vortex type thingy, it had actually been a while since I filmed a video. So I figured I would go ahead and show you guys an amazing recipe. Today is the absolutely perfect day for it. It is called Chicken Pot Pie Chowder. So what I have here is I'm going to go ahead and get started with heating up the Rock Crock Dutch oven pan. Now, what this is a glazed clay. Now, this is tempered to 752 degrees, which means that you can fry on the stovetop, use it in the oven, microwave, grill, and the best part is that it's dishwasher safe too. Now, the thing with the Rock Crock is that it's a pretty thick clay, and it does take a little bit to warm up. But once that gets heated, let me tell you, the cooking is really fast with it. And the great thing about that thick clay is that when you do go for seconds, the food will still be pretty warm, which is great. So this is the 4-quart that I'm going to start with here. There is also a 2.5 quart. There's also an 8-quart Dutch oven extra large. And then a small 9x9 square, I guess you would kind of maybe call it like a pizza pan, but there's also a 15-inch round pizza pan made out of this clay, which is amazing. And one tip that I had heard a while ago was using it as a cold stone. Throw that in the freezer for a couple of hours, and then you could use it as a cold stone, kind of like when they do the mix-ins at Cold Stone Creamery, like for ice cream parties in the summer. I thought that was a cute idea, especially if you have kids. And then with that pan, you still have all of the same features and benefits of the Rock Crock clay. And so I have that heating up, so I'm going to go ahead and in the manual processor here, let me get this out of the way. This has a silicone bottom, so you don't have to worry about it slipping. So as you can see in my little prep area of my glass stove, there is, it's not going to slip on you. So you just put whatever you want in there, and then you just crank it. There's 3 very sharp blades in here. So as you can see, there's a very easy to chop. So I just had the garlic in there real quick to show you guys. And then here I have a chopped onion that I'm going to throw in there. Not too much. So whatever you want to chop up, you just place in there. This is great for guacamole, salsa. A lot of new moms will make their own baby food in this. So I want to leave this kind of like coarse and chunky just for this particular recipe. So here you can see that's the consistency that you'll get. If you want a finer chop, obviously you just go ahead and crank it some more. And just so you know too, it's 3 very sharp blades. The blades and the bottom piece are dishwasher safe. So I'm just going to throw that in the sink. So we're just going to let that saute a little bit. Forgot to throw some butter in there. Give me 1 second. Actually, you know what? I have the butter right here. All right. Okay, so while this is cooking up here, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some chicken. So for this recipe, it calls to add the chicken after. And as a consultant, I always tell my customers, the Pampered Chef recipes are pretty basic. Like you don't have to, they're not very complicated. As far as the flavor is concerned, they're very basic. Like go ahead and play with different spices. Go ahead and add different things. Like there's an amazing recipe called zucchini carbonara. I've made that one quite a few times. For that, I add I cooked the chicken ahead of time for that. So that way that gives it more of a substance, more of a meal. My oven's preheated, that's what that beep is. So with this recipe, for example, it says to cook the chicken separate and then add it to this recipe. To me, that absolutely makes no sense because with the rock crock, you can do so many things in it. It's very versatile. So why am I going to go ahead and dirty another pan to cook chicken in, or cook chicken in this, then take it out and then do that? So this is a wonderful, easy one-pot meal. So this is the chicken pot pie chowder that I have cooking here. And, ooh, these onions are strong, let me tell you. Oh, got a little piece of the outside snuck in there. Let's get rid of that. So again, with the one-pot meals, if you go to my website, pamperedchef.biz/Joe Furtado, that definitely will be in the comments section or in the subject of this video. My last name is Furtado, Furtado. Click on recipes, and then let's say you bought a stone, or you have another gadget or something like a deep covered baker, or even the rock rocks. You can go ahead and peruse the website for all kinds of recipes according to what Pampered Chef product you buy. And there's also a tab with a ton of one-pot recipes. Now, I worked a full 8-hour day today, you know, typical busy day. I'm an office manager. And so obviously coming home and making something this easy is just the way to go. And then especially with this really cold day, this is another one of those one-pot meals. So while this is cooking up, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some chicken. So now, the great thing with this, with these cutting boards, I don't know if you guys can I don't know if you can see this, but these are great for knives. This will help save your cutlery, so you don't have to worry about it. But the cool thing is that this has the silicone edging on it. So if you're cutting things, so this is a glass top, or if you had a granite top, or even on the wood butcher block that I have, it won't slide. So you can really safely cut up whatever you need to do in meal prep. There's also a large there's a small bar board. I use that for little things like, you know, like little fruits, stuff like that. It's called a bar board to prepare stuff for drinks, I guess you would say. This is the medium. And then there's also a large one that has I want to say maybe a half a cup capacity well. So if you're cutting up a watermelon, or if you're doing like a big pork loin and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about making a mess on the counter, as that will capture any loose liquid. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some chicken. I just got a small 2-pack of breasts from the supermarket. Now, Pampered Chef 2 also ended up redesigning their knives this past season. So what they did was they added a wood handle and then the 3 rivets here. Now, the cool thing with the knives is that they are forged from one piece of steel, so you don't have to worry about the handles breaking off. And the best part about the knives is they come with a full lifetime warranty. So let's go ahead and cut this up. So now, as you can see, as I'm cutting through the chicken, there isn't a lot of rocking action going on. So that way you're able to just glide right through whatever you're cutting up. So we're going to cut up this chicken into bite-sized pieces. Just going to throw it right in the pan. And I always tell people when you have a good set of knives, it's actually safer because you're not doing all of that sawing action to get through whatever you need to get through. So hopefully you can see how easy this just glides right through this chicken. Don't forget too that I'm still available to do any kind of home cooking parties if anyone is interested. Another option for people, if you live in a small apartment or you just don't like having people over, that's fine too. I do a ton of virtual parties right through Facebook. And what a virtual party is I run it for, about 7 days, about a week. And then I just post things every day. There's a lot of interaction. And I'll post recipes every day, different specials, different promos, different ideas for people to purchase. There'll be a customized link for whoever the host is. And people just browse and shop from the comfort of their own home. It's a really convenient way to take advantage of a Pampered Chef party without all the fuss and the aggravation, or some people I personally like to have company. I like to cook for company. A lot of people like to host that traditional party style. So whichever way you want to do it, we could do a traditional home cooking party, or we could do a virtual party. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the sink, and I'll wash my hands real quick. Definitely want to be careful with chicken and stuff. Alright, so while this is heating up, another popular item are these scrapers. I've had, this is the medium one. I've had that one for a while. But just to show you this one, I've had this one for over about 17 years I've had this one. So as you can see, the styles slightly change. Very little do the styles change, but Pampered Chef has been around for over 38 years. So you're buying good quality stuff. I happen to be a gadget fanatic. I don't know what it is. I just love to have different gadgets, different utensils, different tools to cook with. And this has held up pretty well for being, I definitely want to say about 17 years. They are heat safe to 425 degrees, and they're also stain resistant. But this one, from being so old, is kind of yellow. I haven't done it yet, but the trick I heard is to just leave it in a full day sun, and they'll turn bright white, like almost brand new. I probably should try it just for my own experiment. So now, as you can see, we're cooking this up. Chicken pot pie chowder by Pampered Chef. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about too is with Pampered Chef, I have been doing this for about 5.5 years. So this coming August will be 6 years. And I have to say, it really came in a time that was very convenient. I was in between jobs. The job at that time that I had for about 9 years had gone out of business, and then kind of messed up with their chapter or whatever filings and stuff like that. So a good friend of mine named Terry had suggested, well, why don't you sell Pampered Chef? And I was in between jobs. I figured, you know what, why not just give it a shot? And then when I actually looked in my kitchen, I had all of their pizza stones. I had one of their deep bakers. I had all of the bamboo. The bamboo has since been discontinued, but I had those rubber spatulas. I had a couple of the small knives. I'm trying to think, I just had a bunch of different things. And I said, okay, well, and I had the garlic press. That's one of the things that everybody loves, is that dang garlic press. But back to the case in point. It's just a wonderful hobby to have. I actually enjoy it. I make videos like this. I have Instagram, YouTube channel. I reach out to a lot of people, and doing the different parties, the different virtual parties, I meet a lot of great people. I mean, it's just one of those things that you really are kind of enriching people's lives one meal at a time, because a lot of people kind of go through the same thing. Like they follow the same kind of menu. They follow the same patterns in their life. They make the same foods every night for supper. That, you know, families get bored with the different things, and I think with Pampered Chef, I'm able to introduce some new things, and I do make lifelong relationships with people. Now, back to my point is that it's very easy to do. I do videos like this. I do home cooking parties. I do a lot of things on Facebook, and the commission is really good. I really can't complain. You do make money off of what you sell. You do build a lot of relationships, and you get free product every month. You get some good discounts on product, and then there are different specials on different months where if you hit a certain sales target, you get this for free, you get that for free. I've definitely amassed a wonderful collection of Pampered Chef products over the course of 5.5, 6 years. So if anyone is interested in joining my team, feel free to give me a call. You can shoot me a private message. Find me on Facebook. My phone number is 508-287-6208. Give me a call. We can meet for coffee and just chat anytime. If you think it's something you want to do, you make your own hours. You make your own hours. You get out what you put into it. That's the great thing about Pampered Chef. So the chicken is almost pretty cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and add the vegetables. So now to this I have 1 cup of mixed vegetables, 1 cup of potatoes. So that's where I kind of modified things. I modified things by cooking the chicken ahead of time, adding it right to the same pot. For this, it's just mixed vegetables, but I do like potatoes in my chicken pie. So we're going to go ahead and add this. We're going to get that nice and heated throughout. Whoops. Well, that went flying. Now, another product thing that I want to talk about is this is the batter bowl. Those were vegetable frozen, so that's why this is a little cloudy, but it is a clear glass. And this item has been around ever since I can remember. The old style was more rounded, the handle was connected. So what they did was they gave it a sleeker look, and they disconnected the handle so you can nest them in. And then this is the 8-cup capacity. There's also a 4-cup capacity. And they come with the lid, so if you're doing something like pancakes or something where you don't use all of the batter or whatever you're doing, you can go ahead and throw the lid on and throw it in the fridge. So I'm going to put this aside. This is the 8-cup batter bowl. So the temperature of those the frozen vegetables kind of brought the temperature down a little bit. So we're just going to go ahead and heat this back up. Okay, so we got that heat going back up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add, this is about 2.5 tablespoons of flour. Now, these little prep bowls really come in handy. This isn't a fancy Food Network production, so I have everything prepped here off camera. And so we're going to sprinkle in just, about 2.5 tablespoons of flour. So now, with that butter that I threw in and the fat from the chicken, we're going to let that cook for a couple of minutes. Now, what that is going to do is that's going to create a roux. And what that does is that's going to be the thickening agent for when I add the liquid. So we want to coat all of this up because we want that flour. We want that flour to mix with the fat from the butter and from the chicken. So that's about it for that. So now to this we're going to do 2 cups of fat-free, low-sodium chicken stock. This is less than $2 at the supermarket. You can't beat that. So we're just going to add this in. Got to let that heat throughout. Now this is the Measure All cup. This one I've had for about 15, 16 years. As you can see, it slides very easily. So with the blue, it's got the little pour spout here. The blue is where you follow the measurements for liquid. And then let me just make sure that's empty. And then for the red is where you follow the measurements for dry. So you would pull this out just like this. And then, so let's say you had something that needed a recipe that needed mayonnaise, peanut butter, whatever. You would follow the dry side. And then you just plunge it through. And that'll give you exact measurements. It's just one of those handy things. Now, the reason why I know this one is so old because it has that the old Pampered Chef chicken logo on it. So that's how I know this is a very old product or item. This is the 2-cup capacity, comes in a 1-cup capacity and a 4 tablespoon capacity. It's mini, it's called petite, it's very tiny. So this is the 2-cup. This is one of those handy go-tos to have in the kitchen. So we're gonna let this heat up throughout. We're gonna turn this up just a little bit. And what you wanna do is scrape the bottom with the spatula, and you wanna get up any flour that may be stuck to the bottom, or that may have cooked to the bottom. So just to recap, we have the garlic and onion cooked up in butter, and then we had the chicken, 2 chicken breasts cut up, added to this, cooked throughout, 2 cups of vegetables. So it was 1 cup of mixed vegetables and one cup of potatoes, the diced potatoes. You could do all corn, you could do all potatoes if you want, you could do all vegetables if you want. Again, that's the beauty of these recipes. You can modify them any which way you want. So now, as you can see, the well, not that you can see, but the the liquid had gotten a little cloudy because it's mixing up with that flour. It's already starting to thicken up. Okay. Now to this, we're going to add 2 cups of milk. Here's another handy measuring cup. Let me rinse this real quick so you can see. Here's another handy measuring cup. This has the silicone handle there, so it's easy to grab, as you can see the way I was pouring. But as you're pouring things, I don't know if you can see, all the letters are on the numbers and measurements are on the inside, so it's easy to see when you have to pour things. That comes as a set as well. Okay. All right. So now, 2 cups of stock, 2 cups of milk. We're going to let that heat throughout. So now that flour actually made a roux with the fat of the butter and the fat from the chicken that cooked down. So we're going to let this heat up a little bit and cook through. And then, as a little trick, at this point too, this is where you would add salt and pepper, whatever other seasonings you wanted to. I tend to cook a little bland. I like to add afterwards because everybody has different flavors. It's easy to add than take away. So if anybody wants a little salt and pepper, they can add it themselves. For this, I just keep it very generic. All right, bear with me. Okay, did you hear that loud pop? So that's why I refuse to open anything that has to do with biscuits or crescent rolls on these videos. I don't know why, because I do give a little jump every time. That's why I open these off camera. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we've added the we've added the milk. This is getting it's starting to thicken up a little bit. So again, keep in mind too that with the rock crock material, it is really thick. So that's going to continue to it's going to continue to cook. So we're just going to give this just kind of want to give it a couple more minutes. I kind of want to see it simmer just a little bit more. So don't forget, if you ever want to host a party, just get a bunch of friends together. I can make this recipe. There's tons of other recipes I can do. We could do any kind of theme you want to do too. We could do just a wine and chocolate theme. We could do a bunch of just desserts and stuff like that. And then as a host, you end up earning so much free product. I know with the coming months, there's all different specials. So if you go to my website, pamperedchef.biz/Joe Furtado, that's JoeFurtado, and then on the top you'll see host a party, and then it's always 2 months ahead. So you can see what the February host specials are. You can see what the March, whatever. Just keep, go ahead. If you want to hold off to see what the specials are coming up, or until a good special is available that you want to take advantage of, you're more than welcome to do that too. Just feel free to reach out. And again, host a party, get free stuff. It's that easy. All right. So everything is coming to a simmer here. We're thickening up. So we're just going to do, this is just plain old buttermilk biscuits. Just going to separate them. And then we're just going to drop them on top. And I already have the oven preheated to 400 degrees. And we're just going to drop these all the way around. And then just make it so that you fit all of them, so that way you don't have a random biscuit hanging around and nothing goes to waste. So you're going to go all the way around, and then one in the center. Okay? Now to this, I'm just going to throw this in the oven at 400 degrees. I can grab the ends there. I want to get that cooking because God knows I'm starving after today. So buttermilk biscuits on top. 400 degree oven for 17 minutes. So I'm not going to leave you guys hanging on. I will post pictures in the comments of the finished product. So again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Joe Furtado with Pampered Chef, and that recipe was chicken pot pie chowder. Feel free to give me a call at 508-287-6208, and my website is pamperedchef.biz/Joe Furtado. My website and phone number and email will all be in the comments of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good evening, everybody. Stay warm.